So Angela is going to walk us through the new Pflaum Gospel Weeklies website, and you may need to take a couple of notes, especially on logging in, and she'll explain the process that we've set up for the beginning of the year versus later on, because as you probably remember, we are putting some of the material behind a gate that only customers will get to, and the rest will still be available. So we've chosen different things that will be available to anybody who comes to the website, and other things where you have to be a customer to get at it. So the instruction for the customers, Angela will go through, but they won't need it right away. Okay, we've realized it's going to take some time to get everybody, to know what to look for, and et cetera. So we've come up with a way to deal with that in the beginning of the year. But she'll go through with that when she goes through the login procedure. What I want to suggest, though, is that everybody, please don't get into the weeds of your questions. If you have a question, that's fine, but not where is this, where is that. Once you know how to get on the website and you've seen the highlights, you can go explore as much as you want. But if we go through everybody's question of where is my favorite thing, this will be like for 4 days. So please keep your questions to functionality of the website and things like that, not how do I find this and where did you put that and why isn't it blue and anything like that, okay? So Angela, you want to, David is on, and so are the editorial team is on, so we can answer some questions also about content and where anything is new on here, including, and especially, I guess, the when we get to the assessments. That'll be something you'll all want to see. So Angela, you want to take it from here?
Sure. I wanted to make sure you guys all saw my screen. Do you see the website?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so here is our new website screen. What I will do is I will go through kind of all the basic menus, and as we go through each menu, we'll have touched everything, and you'll see a lot of what everything is on the website. I was going to start you off with our 3 little lines over here and some basics. This is not all the extras of the site. This is not all the free resources. This is just talking about what EGW is. We have about us right here. This is where we could be sending people who are interested in learning about EGW. So here is some of the basic type of copy we have about our program. That's in our brochure, it's in our catalogs. And down here we have a nice little preview you can see of any one of the lessons. There is a bilingual page that will have bilingual previews on it. So in case you're wondering where those are. But I was just going to show you one of these. These are the same previews that are on Pflaum.com, that are on the store, the web store. For each of these, what you see in here is, you'll notice we've got the new lesson, the date there. There'll be one lesson. There'll be the teaching pages that go with that one lesson. There'll be, sorry, one more. There'll be the handbook, the page of the handbook that goes with it. Then there's the listing that shows all the doctrine in the activity book, and then the activity lesson or activity that goes with this lesson. That's what each one of those previews looks like. So that's some place you can point people there. A little bit about our editors down the side right here, next to where we've been scrolling. If you click on this nifty little price thing that talks about where we're at, it gives you this price sheet that is actually sitting on our current website now. And just for fun, we included the order form that's also on the website now. Go back a screen. And there's some simple things you can do. The Visit Our Store takes you to here. The contact customer service actually will put you on the Contact Us page for the new EGW website. Gives you a way to contact editors, gives you a way to either email, or gives you the phone number for customer service. You can find your sales rep by diocese the same way you used to be able to on the old site. So it functions that same way. Someone can just type a message right here. We look for an easy way to drop in there where they'll put a state, and Lisa will be able to kind of shuffle those around as needed. And this is that find your representative that when we clicked here, kind of same thing that it dumped you down to here. So that would be all the ways to do the contact us from this page. The representative is that little map we just showed you. And this requesting an evaluation package looks a lot like the request form we've been sending people to lately that we built off the Pflaum.com site. You can pick, in English and Spanish of the boxes. You can pick a catalog. You could pick just a brochure. However, if you pick a sample pack, there'll be a brochure in there for you anyway. And then there's their information to fill out. It's the same information we've been asking for request forms all along, but we have one just placed within the PGW website instead of pushing them to the Pflaum.com website. So that would be the little about us that sits on here. The request and evaluation package, that's that page we just looked at. Account management actually takes you to this form, the same page that we went to off the old site. So nothing would be different there as far as how they log on. That also means that when someone goes here and when I show you the register and how people log on to get their free resources, that is not the same as having access to go in there and change things on the account themselves. So the DRE can give her account number to them, and they can go into this portion of the website and use it to register and then stick their email address in there so they can log in when they want. But that is not the same as being straight into the section where you can change how many you're ordering or billing address or anything like that. You have to go someplace different to do that. Contact us, that's the same contact us form I just sent you. Visit our store does take you to the Pflaum web store. This catalog is the full line fall catalog. That's what that link is for. And this is the online version of the catalog, the full catalog here. That's our cute little menu over here. I will show you what someone's going to do when they register. I left myself logged out so I can show you how to do this. What'll happen will be if someone tries to get to a locked resource, it'll prompt them to have to register. And when you click register, you will do this information here. It's this number here is the number from their bill. Notice it's got the nifty little picture of where to find that on your bill. It's got the little yellow highlight you see down there. I would scroll down with my cursor, but I can't because then the little picture will go away. But the yellow spot down there. We also have a beautiful little PowerPoint 4-page piece that Judith made that we can give each of you, that we can pass on, that explains exactly how to register and how to log on with very nice large screenshots you can pass to people as well. So the DRE, the owner of the account, whoever the person in charge would be, could go in and register this account number, and they can put their email address in there. But this is where you would pick to put an email address in. So that way they would just give the account number on the bill to each person at each teacher or catechist, and they would get to go in and say, yes, my email address is one that belongs to this account number. And then after they register, from then on, they only have to log in. And once you log in, as long as you haven't totally cleared your cache, you'll stay logged in all the time. I purposely logged myself out so I could do this today. And then username, and I saved my password. And now we will be able to access everything. Wanted you to be able to see everything, so we're going to do that. All right, so that's the last screen we were on before we did this. What will happen at the beginning is we will, when someone does try to access one of those resources that is locked, we're going to have a little pop-up that's going to explain that the resources on this page are specially made for all of our customers, and that you would need to log in as a customer to access them. But we realize that it's a busy time of the year, everyone's trying to get going, and so to make sure everyone has access to resources they need, we're not going to require you to do that up through the end of September. And we're going to say, in order to get into your free resources, we're giving you a little login you're going to use. Go in and use this information to log yourself in, and you'll be able to get into everything without having to have your account number to make this happen. Just make sure by the end of September you get your account number and you go in and get yourself registered, as opposed to using the free login information we're giving. All the outside reps, all of you who have accounts, you could just go in and log yourself in. That's what I did, is I used my account that I get my shipments on to go in and do that. Because more than one email address can be on one account, if the inside and outside rep would like to share the same account number to use tie their email addresses to, that would be fine. For any sales rep who does not have an actual account comes with the bill and everything else, we do have a generic account number we're going to use and give to all of you guys for your own internal use. And then you can just pick your email address to be one of the many that's going to be tied to that account number, and then you would have access to everything as well. We'll send out, when we send out the little PowerPoint with how to register, how to log in, I'll send that generic number you can use if you don't have an account of your own that you're already getting shipments on anyway, and you just want to stay connected to that same one. So you'll notice when you look here, you can see each of our levels. Not very easy to find. Big, huge button to get to levels. You can, instead of going by levels, you can go by, I'm a family, I'm a teacher, I'm the director, or to make it very easy to find the tests, we stuck them up here. There's some other fairly common pieces that we've made pretty nice little big boxes to get to, and each of these we will see through other menus as well, but at least they're on the home screen where you can get to them easily. Gospel for all ages gets its own little section right on the homepage, as the Grow blog does. And if someone's scrolling around and wants to learn about the program some and was reading about it, this is the promo video that's been on our website that we can use. Well, let's go up to the main up here. You can look, as you see, you can get to the resources by level this way as well. If you want them in Spanish, there they are by Spanish. Oops, sorry. There they are in Spanish. We'll just pick one level. Let's go right smack in the middle. There we are. What we've done here is all the resources you're going to see through here are the ones that have to change each quarter or each week, or these are the ones that have to keep getting updated, these ones you see here. And that's why they're the first things here, because there's going to be more likely the most recent pieces. And it's the ones that are specific for good news that are right here. Down this side, for all levels. These are the pieces that are the same no matter what level you're using. If you're good news, if you're seeds, if you're venture, this menu down the right side will be the same for everyone, because there's no difference between levels, like the teaching guides would be different for good news than they would be. Let's see here. Let's do the sidebar here first. This liturgical learning model is what David presented at LA. This is a nice circle that it was created for us during the sales meeting in January. And there's also the second page here, some basic information about it as well. So this is
just so I jump in quickly. This will be animated at some point, but not at this first phase. Mm-hmm. The wheel will have an interactive feature at some point.
Come in, yeah. This could be, these circles can be separated in how they're described. One thing, so as I leave, you notice that we see a screen inside a screen. If you're going through with customers and talking to them about that, the easy way when you see this that you leave, go look for the yellow X. That'll always be your way to get out of screen inside a screen. Yellow X. The handouts for families. This is a handout we've always had, but Lorena made a nice one that looks real pretty instead of that black and white. On this handouts for families has the English, followed by the Spanish one as well. So someone can download and just take one of them, but this way we can get to all of it right from that sidebar. Music just takes you to the music page. And these are the same music choices that were on the old site. Ways to purchase either the CDs or the downloads, going through GIAs for the downloads, song lyrics, and then those figure plays and all the other movement activities. And there's the article from today's Catholic teacher about music in the class. The pacing plans are the same pacing plans that were always on the old website. And it's the same, you'll recognize it's the same list, same way it was before. The fact sheet is that basic one that, again, it's on the old website, but it's easy to download. The overview video, that's the same video that I showed you on the homepage.
We are excited to introduce you to the Pflaum.
The readings for Mass is how we have started, well, we decided, connected the readings that we show for Children Celebrate. So in case someone's looking for one of the readings for one of the Masses, we had this simple way we'd already created with all the readings. So this will give them access to that pretty quickly. The Saints and Feast calendar.
One second, Angela. It
Yes,
sounds
sir.
like somebody's typing. Could you put yourself on mute if you're going to type? Go ahead, Angela. Sorry.
Once again, the Saints and Feast calendar really is a little calendar. And some of these here you'll notice are linked to the USCCB, the date on the calendar. The seasonal resources are set up this way. There's each level. So say we go to level, hey, we were looking at good news, let's stick with it. And what will happen is this will look similar to what you saw before. Oh, it's doing, okay. Where we kind of just built them on here so that way we don't lose them throughout the year. And you can click through and show up, go straight to it, wherever, whichever one you want to, or just flip through the pages. Anyway. Oh, sorry, X, hello X. The thing we used to call Catholic resources, if you open it up, it always just said parent family resources. So they are, because they're not specific to a level, it was whole family. They are this extra box on the seasonal page now, since they were organized by season anyway. And there they are, just like before, and they'll build the same way. So that way each season will add more, and then that way we won't lose them throughout the year. So now we're on seasonal page. Let's get off of seasonal page. So we can go back to schedule is that nifty schedule we put in all the boxes that we handed you guys. It's just a listing of all the reading. And the weekly videos is a quick way to get to the page that has the videos that goes with each week's lesson. The ones that are mentioned in the Grow blog. When you go to that page, it will have each week. So right now, this is basically what's going beginning. So all the early start options are here. You can see, and you notice they're marked by level as when we can. And you can just open whichever week it is that you want. And this page looks just like it did on the old site as far as how these are organized. We just have them kind of closed up and easier to see. Now that we've been going through all these, we've been jumping around in pages. Let's see how we're a screen in a screen. Close that out. Some actually have their own full landing page, like this pacing plan. Other ones, like the videos, opened up in a little box, and that's when you want to check the little text. Now, we wanted to go back to Good News so I can show you what the pieces are on the Good News page. So the easiest way to go back, if you've started doing things like this, is just to go browse and find your level, and you'll go right back. So these are the pieces that you will have for each level. Last year, as you recall, when we did the overviews for the units, the Promise and Good News were together all as one. We have split them all out. There are now 9 different videos. There is one for basically every student lesson gets its own video. So there are 5 English and there are 4 Spanish. So we're here on Good News. There, you would click your English video, and that would be.
Welcome to the Good News webinar for Unit 1.
There you go. And then so each one of them also has their separate PDF that says if you want to skip to a specific lesson, you can skip to a specific lesson. There is a bilingual section on each one where Erica just speaks in English about what's different for bilingual. But when we go to the bilingual page, you will see there is a full, you'll notice, click here for Spanish. There is a full Spanish recorded webinar. See, there's your Spanish page. They have all the same resources we saw on the English page. Only thing that's different about the Spanish page is if the resource is not available in Spanish, we didn't bother to list it, so it will be a little shorter. You'll notice that this is also shorter down the right side. If the resource is actually only in English, we didn't put it on the page, but otherwise this mirrors the English page. So then this would be the Spanish video. Just so you see, each one of them has their own.
Muy buenos días, mi nombre es Erika.
And then the Spanish also has, and I realized too that these are not in Spanish. I noticed that today, but I will talk to Eric about that. So let's go back to the English Good News. These are the teaching guides like before, where you would pick your week or your unit and it'd be there, the same type of PDF you had before. The weekly videos, this will take you back to that weekly video page we were just on. The Gospel at Home, we put here so that way teachers, if they want to print them out each week and have them hand out, they could get them from their own page. And here they are each week, each language. You can just get to all of it from one page right here with the English. Sometimes with the English, we actually give you access to the Spanish as well. But all the Spanish is all on the Spanish page. It's not because it's not there. The lesson updates are what we had from last year from the Grow blog, where if there is something specific, I know in one of the webinars, there's a note about one of Nicole's activities that the answer key would just be far too large to put in the teaching guide, so it will be here when the time comes. So those types of things are here at the lesson updates. And this is, again, set up just like the old page, so that there's nothing different about it. It's just in a little different spot. You can get to that seasonal page right here. The early start and late close lessons we put here so they'll be easy to get to here early in the year. You might push them out of the way a little bit until it's closer to late close. Unless people like to use these as filler lessons, we don't necessarily have to make them here. But this is the same PDF you had before. The assessments, we'll wait and we'll do assessments all together. And this is the review template. We are in Good News. So it will jump to Good News. There it is. Okay, down here are resources that are specific to Good News, but they're not things that are going to change all the time. We left the weekly template, even though it doesn't change up here. We just want people to get to it real easy because we expect them to want to access it more often. But something like the teaching companion or the resource manuals, we just set kind of at the bottom. There's really no choices besides English or Spanish and resource manuals. There's nothing but click here. We just felt the need to describe them a little bit because we never had descriptions on some of the materials before. And then that's the scope and sequence chart just for Good News. That would be what a level page would look like. As you recall, we saw those buttons where you could look for families or teachers or program directors. So they each all have their own page. Now I will say, let's try, just so you can see it, let me log out. And let's try to get to something that would normally be locked, just so you see what that looks like. We'll pop into a level and we'll try printing off, try to get to something that would normally be locked up, like a teaching guide. It would tell me that I should be registered. And if for some reason I'd unregistered myself, I could log back in and I'd be back in again and be able to get to it. In fact, there it is already. Just so that way you saw, you just saw what someone would see if they weren't registered and logged in when they tried to get to something. So we'll go to, the reason I thought about that just now is because I'm pressing families, and the families page is an unlocked page. So families shouldn't need to have passwords or anything like that. So this is a little family handout. The whole intention of this is to give it to the families to have at home, so there's no reason why we can't just make this something they can get to all the time. So these things are not locked. Gospel at Home, again, it's that same page you were on before, the weekly videos, in case they want the kids to watch them at home with the parents. We wanted them to be able to do that. The seasonal activities, especially since that one, the Catholic Resources one that says parent family, that we've kind of renamed as the family one on the seasonal page. Those activities all talk about doing things together as a family. They're very much directed at families. We wanted them to get to that easily. The weekly review template, it would be something that they could do at home. This section is if you are teaching at home, there's two ways that could happen. Is one that the parent actually buys the program, in which case, if you are a parent who has purchased it, you have an account number. You can go in and just log yourself in and become a registered person and have access to everything. If there is a parish that sends it home, everything home, and has the parents teach, then they would do the same thing they were saying for you to do for your teachers or your catechists, where you give them the number and say, go in and make yourself a login, and then you will have access to anything you would need access to, because you are the teacher. And then if we're having the kids take tests from home, we wanted them to be able to see that real easy from the family page. Their menu down here is a little shorter. We're looking for things that are not locked items only for their page, so that way it would make sense. So anything that's locked up would not be over here. Notice the pacing plans are not over here. The pacing plan that's for them really is this, and then we've kind of talked a little about this, and if we have any questions about that, maybe it would be good if we kind of all went over that together at the end here. The Catechist Teacher page, because we have the level pages, the Catechist Teacher page is more if you're not really looking for a particular level, you just want to know as a catechist or teacher what's available to you, this is how it would be. A lot of these say, like the unit overview says, here's what a unit overview is. So you will click on your level, and that get the overview for the level it is that you're teaching. We kind of made it a little easier. Click that, it'll pop them to the bottom of the page so they can get to it. But a lot of these are that way. Teaching guides again. So if you need a teaching guide, just click on the level and go down there. This just describes how the student lessons and the handbooks work together with the program. And actually, if you click it, because you want to know, because it says to see samples and how they work, that'll take you to that page where we had all of those previews of all the different levels. We had those back to school prayers on the front page of the old website. And so we put them here so the catechists and teachers generically can kind of get to them pretty easy. We wanted them to be able to find seasonal activities fast. And since the seasonal page actually has every single level on it anyway, it was easy to let them go there. Again, the resource manuals are specific to a level, so we suggest to go to the level. And then if they want to get to the assessments real fast, they can do it from here too. The last one would be your directors. And a lot of what was on the old directors tab on the website is also here as well. The directors and the catechist teachers have the same exact sidebar down the right-hand side that you saw when we were on the Good News level. Everybody has that same sidebar. The only one who's different is the families. And then the Spanish sidebar only has things that actually are in Spanish. This is mentions the schedule of the gospel readings, which is actually right there. And then all those prayer services or back to school are all right here too, just in case they go through here for them. These are the same things that were on the user guide, the fact sheet, the director's handbook. These were all on the old director's page, so they're also here too. This is again that promo video. You can get to Gospel for All Ages from the director page here. And when you go to there, let's go ahead and just click there. And we'll have seen the Gospel for All Ages page this way. These are the same links you saw on the old site as well. These are all the different options that were all the pieces you could print out and use. The extra is because we suggest the Exploring Sunday readings as something to go with it. There is actually, and Mike, I don't know if you guys talked about this yet or not, there's a discount for people who, I'm a PGW customer and I'm going to use the Exploring Sunday readings with my Gospel for All Ages program, and it gives them a code right there that when they click here to buy it, they'll be able to put that code in when they purchase to get that discount. The other items that are on this browse menu, David, do you want to do assessments now since it's next in the list?
Hang on, sorry.
Do that, don't you?
Okay, so with assessments, I mean, I assume aside from the logging on questions, people are going to be asking this more than anything else, how this all works. So we will still have available the assessments to be printed. I don't know if you can show that, Angela.
Oh yeah, here, let me go to one of them.
Because people, the interactive option that we have does not have a print option yet. We're looking into doing that simply this way. But as you see here, there are many different options to take the test. So we removed the PDF interactive version, replaced it with this interactive feature that will show the online assessment. So we still have a PDF version that can be printed out for classroom use, the Word document that they can modify on their own, and then the answers. Okay, the answers will always stay behind this wall so students can't access it. I know that's come up before. They think the kids are going to be so curious and look for the answers. Now they can't do that without having an account number. All right, so the online assessment is the only feature, I believe, of the assessments that is unlocked. Is that correct? I think that's correct.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pop.
Want me to go into that online?
Yeah, you could take one, click on one of the assessments. This goes for both the lesson assessments and the unit assessments too. So here you would put your name, and I'm assuming, Angela, this is where it asks, maybe we have to add this going along here. This is where you want the email where you want it to be sent to, correct?
The intention would be to your teacher, because then your teacher would get what your score was. And it says that right here, says to enter your first name, last name, and the address of your teacher. And because we're not in this template allowed to change this word email.
Okay, that's why we can't do that.
That's why we have this little question that says, did you enter the email address of your teacher? Because that's the email address.
That's what you want there.
I am going to do this real quick so you can see what it will look like when it goes. I'm putting my own because I want it to come to me so I can show it to you.
We are working with, a formula, a template or whatever. So there are some limitations, and Judith and Emmanuel and the whole team there have really worked on trying to make this as easy as possible. And hopefully we've covered all our bases here, but this is our first time doing this. So if there's something that comes up along the way, we will do what we can to modify as needed.
All right, I'm going to go in and take this test just so you can see. And like I said,
right ahead.
I'm putting my email. Normally the teacher email goes here, but I'm putting mine because I want you to see what the teacher is going to get. Okay, so here it gives you the instructions for how to take the test. And I am going to just take the first question, everyone, so nobody has to.
While you're doing that, the question numbers will differ because of the way the template is set up from the printed test. The questions are exactly the same. All right, so if you go through, you will see that the questions line up exactly, but the numbers are different. We have it numbered in the PDF versus the way that these have to be set up here.
All right, so submit the answers. There we go. So there's my little score. What did I got a 36%. Nice job.
I'm glad you did it actually, because Judith was able to add the feature where we could see what the answers were correct or not. Before it didn't have that, and I think it's important for both the teacher and the student to see what the answers are. So we were able to fix that. So you'll see that here. There's a certificate that can be downloaded and submitted or emailed. There's also an email that gets sent to the teacher that says that the test was completed.
Not good to just pick the first answer every time. This is what you get, folks.
But it's a good way to show how it's corrected. I think it's good that you did it that way.
Okay, so then let me see if I can see my email real quick. Yeah, now we're fixing this so it doesn't look like it comes from Emmanuel. It's supposed to come from our generic email address, Patrick Callahan's.
Right.
But the teacher would get the name of the student, their lovely score, the date they took it, and then they got this certificate is this one we just saw. Here. So she's get your certificate.
So the email will have a generic address where it's coming from, that it's coming from Pflaum or however it's going to be set up. Not right now it's set up coming from Emmanuel's email address. That's just the way it's been, but that's being worked on. Patrick's working on that, like Angela said.
Do you want to take a little, can I go back one? I haven't tried taking the breadcrumbs off this page before. See what happens. Well, that's new. Haven't tried that before. Have to ask what that is. So let's go back to the home of the assessments. Let's see if it gets, no, get me to home. All right. I wanted to just show them the weekly one, how it looks different.
So whatever assessment we have in English, we have in Spanish.
Oh yeah, here, hold on. Let me show.
Perhaps except visions, I don't remember. I'm having a little brain freeze on that. I don't think we have a quiz, but maybe we do. I think maybe she did translate them.
Yeah, so there's Spanish. So that's the exact same page you see, and it's in, you have it in Spanish this way. Just wanted you to see that there's, if you're on the English page and you realize you need Spanish page, you can get this Spanish.
Right.
But let's do a weekly one because those are the ones that are the free-form answers, and so that's the way they take the test looks different. And we explain what each of the tests are for, and then let's do great lesson. Okay. And then there's little instructions about that. So here we go.
This won't provide a score because it's a written answer, so that the catechist would have to see what the answer is and determine what the grade would be. But that's no different than how we've set up the lesson assessments already. We provide an answer key, of course.
Okay. See how that one we submit. And there you go. I took a test and I went to my teacher. And first two questions are your name, your teacher's name, and then there's all the answers. So the teacher would get them all. Okay. All right.
Could you just show quickly, Angela, where the answer keys would be? How that will look? Because I know people will ask about that.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. So this would just take them to the PDF of the printed test, and the answer keys are always at the end.
So we saw the weekly video page. We saw the music page. This is the unit overviews, the little webinars. And right now, the 3s and 4s left over because that's all we had at the time they started working on the site. So they'll get replaced with the unit 1s. just so you know, Unit 1 is on the old site right now. You just got those up. Pavel got those up today. So all 9 of those videos are all here with the PDFs that belong there, just so you know they are on the old site. So it just occurred to me as I'm talking about 3 and 4, so you knew it was there. But this is what the webinar page looks like. And then the Grow blog is going to look like the Grow blog page as you're pretty used to. Except some of those things that were down the left-hand side before, like the videos, now have their own spot, so they don't need to be here. So these are the from the editors articles. Then there's the Sunday Gospel articles. Those are the gospel ones. These are articles on saints. Those are saints ones. And seasonal. You sign up right there. And a little bit about the
Hey,
editor.
Angela, I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to put you on the spot about it, but I think some of these things will remain ungated on the blog, right? Because I know that the editors often refer to things, to point out different features, different sections of the website. Obviously, if they're clicking, was suggesting a seasonal activity, that will be gated. So when they click on that link, it would ask for the password. So only customers will be able to access that. But I'm assuming that some of this, at least the editor's note and things like that, would be ungated where anybody could read it. Is that, you know if that's correct?
Pavel, Judith, can you help us with making sure we say that right?
Yes, so the blog will be ungated. Basically, all the articles that the editors will publish on the blog will be free and free of access for anyone. It's just that the links that can be included in some posts, like you said, David, they could be gated. For example, if we refers to something that is on a flip book for seasonal resources, these will be gated, of course, because this is gated on the website. But otherwise, they can, anyone can go on the blog and read the articles.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so when I was up here, that's everything on here. So let's peek on our home page and make sure there's nothing on the home page that we did not get to. Notice this is another way to get to bilingual besides up here. There's the music page and the seasonal, and then the weekly videos. There's your Grow blog. There's, if you're not a customer, there's our testimonials. This is the same buttons where you can get for all the different audiences, or if you're a family, a teacher, a director in Spanish. A quick way to get to the webinars or the Grow blog. This is the same about us and contact us and the catalog brochure you saw before. Account management takes us to here. There's actually another way you get to it. Here, I'll wait a second. Employment is typical. Pflaum stores, the Pflaum web store. The Pflaum publishing group is Pflaum.com. And it comes in. This is the Pflaum.com website. If you are one other place you can get to account management is you're the director, person who most likely placed the order. We have at the bottom of this page, I went flying past. You can actually get to it from here too. Hope that wasn't too fast, but I was trying to not belabor. You guys all know the resources themselves. The idea was so you saw kind of how it was organized and maybe a little bit about why to help you be able to surf around a little easier. So this is what Judith made for how to register. So if you are on a restricted link, you would get, remember you guys saw that pop up. So if you had never registered before, it would give you a chance to register there. At the top where I showed you when I registered also. This would be the screen you would get. When I showed you when you hover over the question mark, it gives you the little picture so you know where to find this so you can register. To show that you are a customer, so you'd be allowed to have a login. They'll get this very nice confirmation email with some links to some of the different resources that are available, and then the pop-up showed that you guys saw on the screen. And then from then on, all they would have to do is put a username and password. And like I said, as long as you haven't paid all your cash, once you've logged in, you'll stay logged in all the time unless you go in there and press log out like you saw I did.
The family material has been left unlocked so that what we believe parents are most likely going to use is all available. So one of the reasons for that is we thought it would be difficult for a parish to give every parent in the whole, 8, 9 grade levels the customer ID and have them all go register. So we basically left that ungated so parents could go and do whatever they want on the website. If the parish wants them to get something that's not gated, that is gated, they're going to have to give them the customer ID. Or, as Angela said before, there was a place there where if you're buying it for home use, maybe 1 or 2 copies, just for your own kids, there's a place there which explains the same thing to you. Here's how to log in, et cetera, because you will have a customer ID on your bill.